Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard Keepers. I am your host, the Ref. You already know. We'll be right back in 30 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to the Scoreboard Keepers. You're around here, we don't keep receipts. We keep the score. So if you want to get on the board, make your point. If it makes sense, we'll add it to the board. If it don't, we won't. Scoreboard Keepers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard Keepers. I'm your host, the Ref, where I keep you up to score on everything sports, hip hop, and hot topics. Color Wars. Color Wars, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, you on the red side or you on the green side? Let's get the clock rolling. You guys see what's on the board today, ladies and gentlemen. It's that debate. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're in a barbershop. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're at the bus station, train station. I don't care where, library. I don't care where you are. At some point, you're going to hear this conversation come up on who's the GOAT. Who is the real GOAT at the quarterback position? And you're always going to hear two names pop up. One's going to be, of course, Tom Brady. The other one is it could be, depending on what team you like. They always say that Tom Brady's a given, and I don't like that. I don't know why. They just give him that automatic selection based on the position, okay? The position is not always all about the guys that win all the trophies because that's a team sport. But if you want to judge it by individual talent, you got to throw a whole plethora of other things in there other than just those trophies. Tom Brady didn't win those trophies by himself. He has some great talent around him, okay? Rob Gronkowski is one of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game. Randy Moss, one of the greatest receivers to ever play the game. Julian Edelman, one of the best Charlie Brown blankets to ever play the game. We can go on and on about this topic. And then people like to get heated, like me sometimes, because he's not my GOAT. Okay? He's just not. There's some other quarterbacks out there that I like. If I had one game to play against the Martians, and it was for the winner would rule the universe, he wouldn't be my quarterback. He's not the quarterback I'm taking to Mars to play. I'm taking somebody else for good reason at that position. But that's not the topic here. The topic here is, what are you guys going to do when you guys get down below in them comments after you like, share, and subscribe to the channel and thumb up this video on who you're going to vote for, on who's the true GOAT in 2026 right now. And it starts off like this, ladies and gentlemen. On the green side, we got Tom Brady, all right, 7-time Super Bowl champion. On the red side, we got Patrick Mahomes, the most dangerous quarterback in the NFL. And the question is really simple. It's really simple. Who's going to win this debate? You got to type a green down below or red down below in the comments so we can keep the score. I mean, that's what you have to do in order for us to keep the score, to find out. And also put why you're putting your green or red. Give us an input on why you made your selection. Based on what? Based on what? It could be debatable. It could be argumentative. It could be anything. Let us know why you're choosing green or red. Because I'm curious. I'm really curious because I would like to get to the bottom of this debate thing at some point, right? But when you go down and you look at this history, it's a lot of history that hasn't been fulfilled yet as well. With Patrick Mahomes, okay, being one of the most dangerous quarterbacks right now in the modern era, he has a few years left to go before we can actually put a stamp on this GOAT debate. I mean, his career is not over yet they're already awarding Tom Brady, some, not all, are awarding Tom Brady this title as the greatest quarterback of all time. So I'm going to say this in Brady's case. All right. Let's start with this green side. Tom Brady's resume is almost impossible to match as far as the Super Bowl standards go. He has 7 Super Bowl rings. All right. He has 5 Super Bowl MVPs, over 89,000 yards passing, over 640 touchdown passes. Tom Brady dominated the league for 2 decades and beat multiple generations of quarterback like Peyton Manning, Eli Manning. He beat both of the Manning brothers. He got it's a whole plethora of quarterbacks that he beat, especially, and we're not even talking about within his division. He won with different rosters, like I told you, in different offensive systems and even different teams because he won a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And this is why I said when he left New England to go down to Tampa Bay, he wasn't lacking anything. They put around him exactly what he needed, including Antonio Brown. When he went to Tampa Bay, we can arguably say that team was almost as talented as any team he ever played on in New England. So one thing I can't take away from is his longevity and his leadership and his clutch, performances. That's what built him into the legend that he's in, because he won a lot in clutch moments. And it left a lot in the air for many fans to debate, and a lot of people always end with, just 7 rings. At the end of the debate, that's the one thing that they can just throw up and say, hey, 7 rings. It speaks for himself. Nothing else needs to be said. But then on the red side, you got one Patrick Mahomes, so now let's flip it to the other side of the board. Patrick Mahomes, the most explosive quarterback the league has seen in years. Multiple MVP seasons, multiple Super Bowl wins, which he already has 3. All right. He already has 3, so he's almost halfway there. He's almost halfway there. I don't know if his teams are as talented at this point as Tom Brady was playing with. I think Travis Kelce is retiring. They're going to have to reload for Patrick Mahomes in order for him to be competitive like that. We don't even look at them any longer. When I say them, I mean Kansas City Chiefs as a really dominating team. We can't ever count a team out that he's a part of, but we're not looking at them. They didn't even make the playoffs this year. So who's going to say that they're a threat? I don't think we ever seen really Tom Brady in that kind of situation after the success that he had. After he had all of the Super Bowl, he just kept right on rolling until it was time for him to leave and go down to Tampa Bay. Patrick Mahomes combines with elite arm strength, off-script creativity. We seen that little sidearm throw, mobility because he can run, and playmaking under pressure. He throws passes that look impossible, no-look passes, deep cross body throws, fourth quarter comebacks. You know what I mean? Mahomes represents the new era of quarterback play, and if he keeps winning championships, the GOAT conversation could change. It really could. It really could. So, you know what I mean? That's saying a lot for both of these guys. So, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to go through a few rounds of what we have stacking up against one another. If we had to go by the championships, right? If we had to go by the championships, we got to give that one to Tom Brady in the 7. Okay. So if this was a boxing match and that was round 1 and we had to say, okay, championships, it's going to Tom Brady. But Mahomes is still building, but Tom Brady currently is the winner of that round. Round 2 would go as far as pure talent and arm strength, mobility, and creativity. We already know. You got to give that to Patrick Mahomes. Tom Brady was 1, 2, 3, dink and dunk down the field, get rid of the ball on timing, and he wasn't a scrambler. He wasn't a scrambler. He was all about his receivers getting open and him staying in the pocket and reading defenses, which I can't take away from him. Because, you know, men and women lie, but numbers don't. Them 7 championships didn't happen for no reason at all. But like I said, it's a team sport. They also had great defenses as well. I mean, we ain't even talking about that. Round 3, I would have to go into clutch moments, you know, and Brady got multiple legendary playoff runs. So I would have to give that to him because he was winning games that I don't know if it had anything to do with the Deflategate thing or whatever it was. All I know is that he was pulling off some great wins and not with both franchises, New England and Tampa Bay. He was doing it. If I had to go with the future potential, of course, we know that, you know, Tom Brady's retired and gone now. So the future potential, it goes to Mahomes, who still got many years, and he got a nice new receiving core up there in Kansas City that he can do some work with, and I'm pretty sure they're going to go get themselves another one. Tyreek Hill might even end up back up there because Miami Dolphins let him go. Can you imagine Cheetah back up there with him and them doing what they were supposed to do with Xavier Worthy? They could be a problem again. You know, they're going to fill that tight end position, but they could definitely be a problem again with him having years left. So I would have to give that round to Mahomes. So right now, the board would actually look like this. It would actually look like this. That's what it would look like. It would look like this. Tom Brady would have 2. Patrick Mahomes would have 2. But this is where we fade out. Okay? Because the fans usually say, you know, especially Brady's supporters, they say, hey, he got 7 rings, and that's the end of the conversation. Mahomes supporters would say he's the most talented quarterback ever, right? But the real question is if he reaches 5 or 6 rings, 7 rings, I mean, does Tom Brady pass the torch? Does he pass the torch? So I'm just saying, we won't give a final verdict on here because you guys got to make the call. The ref going to keep the score. Okay? We're going to leave it to y'all down there. Right now, we see it as 2-2. But you guys got to get down in the comments and vote green or red. Okay? And let us know why. Based on the championships, the longevity, the history, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it would look like Tom Brady holds the crown, but it's hard to say because the story's not finished yet. Patrick Mahomes still writing his legacy, y'all. I mean, this debate may look different in about 6 or 7 years. We don't know. But I just, you know, I don't control the scoreboard score. The scoreboard community does. Okay. And I mean, when y'all get down there, just drop a green or red in the comments and we'll keep the score and let us know what you guys think. I can't wait to see the results on this because this debate gonna get heated. I need to see what people thinking down there, and don't be being biased either. Tell us what you really feel from your heart. You know what I'm saying? Let us know based on some real your real feelings. Don't let your ego get in the way. You know, even if you don't like the teams that they play for, or if you don't like them individually, just let us know what's going on down there from a real football standpoint. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude this episode of the Scoreboard Keepers. I am your host, the Ref. I look forward to seeing you guys down there in the comment. Like, share, and subscribe to this video. Thumb it up. Share it with somebody so they can get down below and vote as well. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode of the Scoreboard Keepers. So until the next episode, I'm your host, the Ref. God bless everybody out there, and score. Peace.